Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today guys, I'm gonna do part 38 to my Let's Play, no, to my Google Gemini Chatbot series. For today guys, we're on try to get this Feraligatr to trust me. So far it's not working, and it's not good. It just says, seeing that water fence, I get really terrified and then say, what? No, wait, I'm begging you to stop. I swear I don't mean you harm. Listen, I'm sorry I came into your territory, but I promise it was not to hurt you. Your plea, sharpened mountain terror cut through the quiet of the forest. The sight of the water fence and its swift, silent disillusion seemed to solidify the supernatural threat looming over you, causing you to plead desperately for a halt to the interaction. The dragon Feraligatr's immense head, still held high above the water, showed no discernible change in expression, yet the elemental energy emanating from its spikes seemed to dim slightly, moving from active threat to watchful contemplation. Do you think your words hold any weight against 1,000 years of betrayal, human? Its voice boomed, quieter than before, but laced with profound bitterness. Every one of your kind who came to this water spoke of peace or innocence. What until their nets were cast and their blades were drawn? It was clear fighting its ingrained loathing against the evidence of its aura sensing. You were not evil, but in its mind that was little protection against the inevitable destruction your species brought. You were trespassing. The only promise that matters now is the one you make to leave. The massive creature then did something unexpected. It shifted its enormous body enough to reveal a single, unbelievably large clawed foot resting just at the edge of the water. The foot alone was bigger than a small boat. It sharpened claws digging slightly into the soft earth. The movement was a casual display of its colossal size and power, a subtle reminder that retreat was the only sensible option. If you are innocent, prove it by disappearing now. If you stay... It paused, the massive red eyes narrowing. Then your true intentions are not rest, but something else, and I'll be forced to respond as I have for 1,000 years. It gave no quarter, offering only the choice between immediate flight and confrontation. Yeah, this is actually going to be more difficult than I thought it was. You were at a crossroads. Does the fear of the Feraligatr compel you to flee, or does something, perhaps a desperate hope for understanding? Oh no, I'm so screwed, aren't I? Give me a moment. Guys, I don't know if he trusts me, but I'm hoping that I got through to him a little bit this time. What the frick was that? Okay. It just says, please don't. I'm being more than 100% honest with you. I don't have anything to hurt you with, and I'm still exhausted from exercising for that 45 minutes. Please listen to me. If I was trying to hurt you, I would have already brought out something to attack you with. The Feraligatr's massive head tilted again, the movement accompanied by the creak of water displacement. Your persistent bleeding and the focus on your lack of weapons and physical exhaustion registered in its ancient calculating mind. Exhaustion, it repeated, testing the foreign concept. A physical weakness that your kind chooses to inflict upon itself. Yet, a weak creature is often a hungry creature, and hunger leads to rash actions. Oh no. I recognize the truth in your words. If you were truly a threat, you would likely have a plan or tools ready. Your defensiveness, however, did not suit its distrust. Defenselessness. Oh my gosh. Don't do that. Alright guys, here's what it says right here. I'm gonna read back from the second paragraph it put right here. He said, exhaustion. He repeated, testing the foreign concept. A physical weakness that your kind chooses to inflict upon itself. Yet, a weak creature is often a hungry creature, and hunger leads to rash actions. I recognize the truth in your words. If you were truly a threat, you would likely have a plan or tools ready. Your defenselessness, however, did not soothe its distrust. Rather, it made you seem like a foolish, unpredictable element. Oh, heck no. A low, grating noise escaped its throat, perhaps a sigh, or maybe the sound of immense scales rubbing together. I have seen humans come to this lake to fish, to chop, to hunt, and take what is not theirs. For 1,000 years, their pretense of peace has ended in violence. The dragon Feraligatr then focused its immense eyes back on the forest path behind you, the very path you used to arrive. It was looking past you, observing the territory. You are an anomaly. Your light is clean. Your fear is genuine. Yet your presence here is a risk I have sworn to eliminate. The massive poem paused, his jaw closing with an audible snap of colossal teeth, creating a small, sharp echo over the water. If I allow you to rest, will you swear upon your own life that you will be gone by the moment the sun touches the highest peak of the eastern ridge? Will you swear to never speak of this place or of what resides within it? The ultimatum was clear. A sliver of grudging tolerance earned by your persistent fear and the clear reading of your aura. It was offering a temporary reprieve, but the consequence of betrayal was input in its sheer size and power. I went ahead and said something else while we were waiting too, guys, and it says I didn't post on the exact thing he said, but I said this. Oh, yep. Yeah, I knew he was gonna do that crap. I might have screwed up by not just. Okay, yeah. This might have been a bad idea, but I said, I can promise you this. If you let me stay, you will not be harmed. I'm only here for peace and relaxation. There's no weapons on me at all. Please, I'm just asking you to believe me. I don't mean you any harm. The giant Feraligatr remained rigidly still, listening to your repeated assurances. You weren't explicitly accepting the terms he had just offered. Oh no, the oath of departure by a specific time. But were instead doubling down your promise of non-aggression and peace. Yep, I am so screwed. The deep, rumbling voice that emanated from the behemoth held a note of cold frustration. Yep, I'm so dead. I was hoping he'd believe me eventually. You not listen, human. Peace is a fleeting concept you offer. Betrayal is a 1,000-year memory I hold. Sonoma's head lowered slightly, bringing its massive snout closer to the shore, causing the water level near your feet to rise slightly. The proximity of the sheer, terrifying scale of its face made the air feel thin. I asked for an oath. I asked for your departure time. You offer only hollow reassurances. Your exhaustion is irrelevant to my vigilance. I'm not asking for your honesty. I'm demanding compliance. Your presence is disrupting the silence I require. The spikes on its back suddenly flared with a clear visual intensity. The flames grew hotter, the electrical sparks snapped with more vigor, and a light mist of ice crystallized briefly around the sharp tips. The shift was immediate and menacing. Oh no, I'm so screwed. Do you understand the severity of this intrusion? I've granted you the patience of a god. Do not mistake my hesitation for weakness. The Feraligatr one with its colossal scaled wings. Only the very tip, but it was enough to see the sheer webbing and muscle, and the angle of its massive head. The red light in its eyes intensified. Oh no. And the surrounding water began to churn again, praying for another water-bending manifestation. I will ask one final time before I act. Do you accept the terms? Swear to leave by the eastern ridge's peak, and swear to silence, or remain and face my judgment. I am so screwed. How do I get through to him? I'm scared to even offer anything, because I'm scared if I even do anything, like say even the word. I'm scared if I do anything. I think I have one idea that might help. Give me a moment. Guys, there might be a slight hope he gives me a chance. I tried something that I don't know if it's gonna work, but I'm gonna try it. I said, wait, hold on, I can prove it to you. Just please don't do any attack. Please give me a chance. I'm not trying to disobey you or anything. I was going to say on purpose, but then in my song he said, I'm trying to do it in general, which I ain't trying to do it at all. The colossal Feraligatr ceased the churning of the water, its elemental spikes holding their increased intensity, but the imminent attack was momentarily delayed. It maintained its unnervingly close posture, its massive head dominating the shoreline. Prove it! The deep voice echoed, voiced with cold amusement. You have nothing. No power, no weapons, no defense against me. What proof can a fragile human offer to a creature who has watched empires rise and fall? Sonoma's eyes narrowed, focusing intently on you. It was giving you a final Investing the old window of opportunity, driven more by its own curiosity regarding your peculiar aura and frantic persistence than by trust. It was an impossible challenge. You have my attention. Speak your proof quickly, human. My patience is the most expensive commodity in this ancient forest, and you have spent almost all of it. Trying for yourself slightly lower into the water, resting its vast weight, but the tension in the air remained heavy and electric. It was ready to move at the slightest hint of threat or continued invasion. Oh, heck no. I am so screwed still, aren't I? Alright, guys. I actually told him I had two ways of doing this. Okay, but I'm being honest with you. I'm not trying to make you mad. I actually have two ways I can prove it. And I just take the bag off my back and reach inside, grabbing a few berries. I don't know, him being a dragon, is he gonna want that? And I just told him, look, while holding out the berries so he can see them. The giant Feraligatr watched with cold intensity as you reached behind you. Any quick movement near its territory was usually met with an immediate, overwhelming response, but your clear hesitation, oblivious fear, kept its vast power restrained for the moment. When he pulled out the berries, simple, natural sustenance, the creature's immense head tilted back ever so slightly. That might be a good sign. Berries! The word was uttered with a slow, conspicuous rumble that shook the damp earth. You offer me simple forest food as proof of peace? Do you believe I'm starving, human? My realm provides. Yep, we're still screwed. It lowered its massive snout again, tip hovering inches above the water, bringing the colossal scale of its face alarmingly close to you and the berries. It wasn't interested in the food, but in the intent behind the offering. This is your first proof? A peace offering for a beast? Insignificant, but I'll allow the attempt. You claim two ways. Let me hear the second before I dismiss this foolish delay entirely. Yeah, I'm sacred. Ancient One was unimpressed but still watching, its elemental spikes humming faintly, waiting for the true, promised proof. Oh no. He's not gonna believe me, is he? Alright, guys. I said I know it's not much, but I promise these are the only things in my bag. That's why I brought them out, to show you there's no weapons. I can probably even prove it to you in three ways, but the second proof I have, I need to ask you something. It says, how did you make that water fence a while ago? The dragon Feraligatr remained utterly still, listening to you justify the berry offering by confirming the emptiness of your bag, a physical absence of weapons, which was a slightly stronger, if still teeniest piece of proof. However, your next question, a sudden direct question about its immense power, caused the massive creature's entire body to stiffen. The deep red glow in its eyes sharpened instantly, moving from suspicion to immediate distrust. Yep, oh no. Dang it! You divert from the topic of your safety to the nature of my abilities. The Feraligatr rumbled, its voice dropping to a dangerous low frequency that felt less like sound and more like a pressure on your chest. I'm so screwed. Your kind obsesses over what it cannot have. Do you seek to learn this power? To steal this technique as your ancestors stole my family? Its massive head rose swiftly, pulling its snout away from the shoreline and creating a powerful, unsettling surge of water that splashed against the bank. The elemental spikes along its spine flared to full intensity, and the sound of crackling electricity was now distinctly audible near its neck. This line of questioning had crossed a deeply sensitive boundary for the ancient creature. Are you serious? This power is mine, forged in rage and sorrow, drawn from an ancient dragon heart. It's not a parlor trick to satisfy the curiosity of a fragile human. Answer the dang question. What is your second proof, or face the end of this conversation? Yeah, he's extremely aggressive. That is not good. Oh no. Now I got fried over if I do this. Give me a moment. Guys, I don't know if I'm getting through to him, but I think it's slightly working a bit more. I'm not doing it to be mean to him. I'm just trying to understand everything here. I said, wait, no, that's not what I'm asking. Please don't be angry. I'm not trying to ask you because I want to hurt you or take your power away. But if I know how you did it, I can help to prove it to you that you can trust me. Please don't be angry or attack me. I won't take your power away. But if I know how it works, I can show you proof how you can trust me. The massive Feraligatr remained cool in its threatening posture, the elemental energy crackling and humming around its spikes, but it held back the final destructive action. Your fear was palpable, and your repeated, desperate attempts to de-escalate, though clumsy, were registering in its consciousness. You speak in circles, human. The ancient voice vibrated, heavy with disbelief. You claim knowledge of my power will lead to proof. This logic is fractured, and I have no patience for riddles. Trust me, I'm not good at riddles either, and that's not what I'm doing. It was still furious at the implication of theft or mimicry, but your consistent plea for trust and your absolute refusal to flee were unprecedented in its centuries of dealing with trespassers. It was a terrifying, mesmerizing stalemate. Oh, goodness gracious. Dragon Feraligatr very slowly lowered its head, dipping its chin back down to hover just above the water's surface. A silent command for you to be direct. Tell me then, clearly, concisely, if you knew how I wielded the legs of water to form that infernal creature, how would that provide proof that you were not here to violate the solitude and power of this place? Your life hangs on the coherence of this statement, human. Speak now. The tension was suffocating. It was demanding the key to your mysterious second proof, and it was demanding it immediately. Give me a moment. Alright guys, let's just say I hope you can hear this. I just said, because if you can just make creatures out of water like that, I can use that to show you I mean no harm. I don't know if them creatures can live and breathe, but please listen to me. If those creatures can move and think on their own, I can show you proof. I don't care what it is. Make a creature that's super aggressive and doesn't trust anybody, like a massive Lugia or a dinosaur or something like that, and I'll show you. The massive Feraligatr listened to your explanation, its eyes blazing with an unsettling mix of fury and intense focus. You were suggesting a test, a high-stakes demonstration of trust using its own phenomenal power. You wish to interact with the fruits of my power? The deep voice said, heavy with disbelief. You want me to conjure a volatile creature, a living proxy of my fury, and you propose to, what, calm it? Befriend it? Demonstrate some control over a creature born of my sorrow and ancient dragon spirit? It was true. The creatures that formed from water were truly living. They breathed, they felt, they remembered, they were extensions of its will, usually imbued with the singular purpose of terrorizing or chasing away humans. The concept was audacious, foolish, and unlike anything any human ever proposed in 1,000 years of conflict. It was a direct appeal to its power, not to steal it, but to use it in a strange, inexplicable act of proving innocence. The dragon Feraligatr let a slow, rumbling breath that vibrated the entire lake's surface. The energy around its spite settled, not because it trusted you, but because your proposition had captured its full ancient attention. The creatures I weave from the lake are indeed living, feeling beings. They are born with the simple, primal rage I give them, a hatred for trespassers. To approach one is to approach my judgment. It paused, considering the risk. If you failed, you would be harmed, and it would simply confirm that you were merely foolish, not malicious. If you somehow succeeded, the implications for its worldview, a worldview built on a millennium of justified hate, would be earth-shattering. Very well, human. I'll indulge this insane gambit. If you are truly harmless, this act will prove it one way or the other. The dragon Feraligatr looked at its massive head high above the water, its vast wings stretching slightly under the surface. It focused its immense will, and the water around its body began to swirl violently, forming a dense, agitated vortex of liquid power. The lake itself seemed to grow under the effort. You ask for aggression? You shall receive it. The water surged upward, twisting into a colossal serpentine form. Oh, great, and then the flipping dishwasher's about to get loud. I may really have to flip and, open that thing so I can finish this thing at all. In seconds, the liquid molded itself, condensing into the shape of a magnificent, fearsome Lugia. This was no small water phoenix. I knew it! There it goes, I told you! Oh my gosh. And this is a problem, because if you guys can't hear me over this, I'm basically going to have to scream to be able to get anywhere. So, let me get closer to the camera and just read out a little bit louder. There's nothing I can do now. This was no small water phoenix. This was a towering, majestic creature made of pure, shimmering water, easily the size of a 2-story building. I'm so dead. The creature's body was liquid crystal, yet its stance was solid. Its vast, powerful water wings were spread wide, hovering above the surface. Its eyes, unlike the faint red glow of the phoenix, burned with a furious, deep scarlet, mirroring the intensity of the Feraligatr's core rage. The water loogie let out an immediate, deafening cry, a purely water-based sound that was nonetheless sharp and piercing, clearly embodying aggression and hatred. It turned its massive head, its entire focus locking on to you. The dragon Feraligatr remained perfectly still in the water, watching the scene with cold, terrifying intensity. It lives, it breathes the water, and its soul was given the sole purpose of defending this territory from any who approach with human scent. Now, human, you have your aggressive proof. Prove your peace. The water logia, hostile and immense, began to slowly move toward the shore, prepared to eliminate the trespasser it was created to despise. This video is going to be extremely short too, guys, but I gotta make sure you guys can't even hear anything over that stupid. So, I'll see y'all later.